And judging as to how close things are, particularly at the top there between Kevin King in the 40, the King Motorsports entry, and Marco Signoretti, it'll go down to that very last race before this championship gets decided for 2019. The reigning champion, Olivier Bedard, racing this weekend, but in the Toyo Tires F1600 Championship presented by FEL, as he just ran 3 races earlier in the season and has elected to focus on his F1600 efforts, where he is locked in a tight battle there for the championship as well. He won the first race of the day earlier in a thrilling finish with Zachary Vanier. So lots of great racing to come here this afternoon. And Jim, very shortly, the Nissan Micra Cup cars will roll off of that pre-grid area, and we should be in for 30 minutes of outstanding racing here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park to kick off our afternoon.
Absolutely. There's a ton of things to see and do no matter where you are. If you've been hanging around the marketplace and check out some of the goods and wares, the Chevrolet, the Kubota, the Total areas, Johnsonville, grab a little late lunch perhaps. We have not sure exactly what you might be up to, but the bottom line is make your way trackside right away, because things are going to get exciting in a big hurry. The Canadian Tire Action Zone might be emptying out a little bit. The Action Zone full of things like bouncy castles and inflatable obstacle courses, races and games for children of all ages. The Action Zone's been pretty busy over the space of the lunch hour. However, things are going to change as everybody makes their way trackside, puts on another layer of sunscreen, because we've got 3 or 4 times more sunshine than we had an hour ago, or so it seems. The skies have begun to clear up just a little bit, and people have been putting on one more layer of sunscreen on the noses, just to be sure that we can get through the entire weekend. It's sunny, it's warm, it's not a bad day at all. And in this kind of these kind of conditions, what occasionally happens is the coolness of the air temperature fools you into thinking that you don't have to worry about sunscreen quite so much. Not exactly true. It's on days like this where you can. It's warm enough that you can wear the shortest of the sleeve shirts and get out in the sunshine a little bit more than you need. Please, a little sunscreen is not a terrible idea. And while you're doing that, we also have the opportunity to show off some pretty sexy automobiles, including an all-wheel drive electric Nissan automobile, leading the crowd around. There's some pretty sexy cars out here. There's an article, I believe, on the inside of the official program about the Nissan car, which is pacing the field around the racetrack. Electric motors, I believe it's in the neighborhood of 350 horsepower, but somewhere in the neighborhood of twice as much torque to all 4 wheels. Quite a machine the Nissan company has assembled, and it's awfully nice of them to bring it up and show it off to us today.
100% electric as it paces the field. The Nissan Nismo that was back here in May was out to pace the field in the first and second rounds. These are rounds 9 and 10 coming up this weekend, and right now the car's rolling down off of the start-finish straightaway through turns 1, heading up into 2. And next time by, look for that Nissan Nismo pace car to pull onto pit road, and then it'll be up to the drivers there in row 1. The rookie Marco Signoretti from Toronto, the PayPal Motorsports in Action driver, coming out of the karting ranks, a rookie in the series. And he has certainly been a discovery with the reigning champion Olivier Bedard moving on. Signoretti in a monumental battle here for the championship along with Kevin King. We also have a close fight among the senior class drivers, where Frederic Bernier, who is 4th overall in the points, is the leading senior class driver. And then the 98 car of Sylvain Willette, who is 2nd among the senior class competitors. He is 6th overall in the championship with 149 points. So with 4 races to go in the 2019 Nissan Micra Cup championship, things still very much up for grabs in both the overall and the senior classes. Looking at Austin Riley, who is going to start on the outside of row 1. The Racing with Autism driver in that number 20 car is actually tied for 8th in the championship with Eric Chaput, both with 116 points. So some of these points battles are really, really tight. And Valerie Lamage sitting 3rd in the overall championship. She's got 200 points and trailing Kevin King, the points leader, by about 76. So Valerie looking to move up and tighten up that points championship with a couple of good runs here this weekend at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. The weather absolutely superb for late August as the Nissan Nismo electric vehicle leads the field off the end of the Andretti straightaway as they work into the turn 8 area. In these cars, you're probably not going to even touch the brakes to go through turn number 8 into the entrance to the S's. Then it's probably down a gear for the left-hander at turn number 9 as the Nissan Nismo pace car heads on to pit road. It is Signoretti 97 in the PayPal car alongside that green number 20, the Spark Power sponsored car of number 20. Austin Riley coming to the line, and the green flag is out. We are racing in round 9 of the Nissan Micra Cup Series down into turn 1. Signoretti, the pole sitter, has got the inside position, and he'll grab the lead, tucking in. Here goes Valerie Lamage, one of the drivers pulling to the inside, looking for second, but it'll be Signoretti who will lead them down to the bottom of turn number 2. Side-by-side battle here for second as Austin Riley gets shuffled back into the number 3 spot. As we've had a change in second, the 00 of Jake Exton has gone around into third, into second, with the Austin Riley number 20 car sitting in third.
Boy, a great drive for Jake Exton right off the bat. Decided to get up beside Austin Riley. Rode side by side through turns number 9 through 1 through 2, and then really made an effort to get on the outside and carry as much steam as he possibly could through turn number 3, and it's paid huge dividends. He's moved up a spot. And with these cars, given the opportunity, you can't afford to miss a chance. And that's exactly what Jake Exton had in mind. He basically has said, I know I can get by the number 20 car. Did so in turn number 3. Holds onto it through the top of the straightaway underneath the champion footbridge into turn number 8. Now things get twisty once again, and this time Jake Exton looks to the inside of the race leading Signoretti machine. There's no place for him to go, but on the other hand, the probably the most important part is he didn't give Austin Riley any place to try to return the favor.
Diving in on the inside, a change in the lead. Jake Exton was able to muscle that 00 car into the lead inside of Signoretti going into turn number 10, and he'll lead him across the line here at the end of lap number 2. So the battle up front continues, and car number 427, Nicholas Barrett, is on pit road. So problems, and we've got a spin down in turn number 1. So one of the cars looping around in turn 1 will try to get a number on that car. But up front, it is the 00 of Jake Exton over 97, Signoretti, and then 20, Austin Riley third, 220, Valerie Lamage running in fourth. The 40 of Kevin King is back there in fifth. So it's single file. We've got a freight train of Nissan Micra Cup cars in the Moss Corner here on lap number 3, and they are just locked together. The trailing driver there is the 58 of Taylor Neer in the second of the PayPal-sponsored cars. So that front-running group still locked together as they head up the Andretti straightaway. The 00 of Clarington Nissan driver Jake Exton from Lakefield, Ontario. And here comes Signoretti. Marco Signoretti, the pole sitter, has pulled the PayPal car alongside. They're going to go wheel to wheel into the top of the S's, and Signoretti has gone back into the lead, and Jake Exton will get drop-kicked all the way to third as Austin Riley goes through into the second place spot. Into turn 10, Signoretti back on the start-finish straightaway. Austin Riley in second. The 00 of Jake Exton third. Then it is The 220 of Valerie Lamage in fourth, and Kevin King continues to round out the top five.
A seven-car freight train coming up the back straightaway into turn number one now at the exit of the corner. It's still all the cars running within a car length of each other underneath the champion footbridge to the top of turn number two. Down the hill they come. And actually, Austin Riley and Marco Signoretti have really shown what it takes to win in this race series. These cars, there's no difference in horsepower. There's no real difference as far as the cornering ability of the cars. It's all about strategy. And, well, it looked as though Jake Exton had the strategy all figured out. Unfortunately, he had it all figured out for 10 turns. When it came to the 11th turn, the start of the second round, well, that strategy seemed to go by the wayside. And now finds himself in third place, trying as best he can to play catch-up. And again, with identical cars, catch-up is nigh impossible.
Great drive out of the turn 5B. And it looks like we've got yet another driver who has moved up. There are about 8 cars up in that lead draft. And we've got a spin at Moss Corner. It is the 47 car being looped around. Andre Lapointe, one of our senior class drivers, but he is going again after spinning out at Moss Corner. Working the lap here, it is the 20 of Austin Riley taking a look on the inside of Marco Signoretti into the top of the S's. Can't get around. 00, Jake Exton still third, Valerie Lamage fourth, and Kevin King in car number 40 continues to round out the top five as they work to the line. It is still Signoretti going through, followed by Austin Riley. The other, it is 98 Sylvain Willette is the other driver who has moved up there into sixth. Taylor Neer in the 58 car pushed down into seventh.
Wow, a 7-car freight train still around the racetrack as things begin to spread just a little bit. And Austin Riley in the green and black number 20 machine doing the best he can. He's weaving from side to side in pieces of the racetrack, looking for the opportunity. Now, whether he's looking for an opportunity or he's trying to distract Marco Signoretti, that's a great question and might be a worthwhile asking at the end of the race. Were you trying to disturb him, or was there a place to go there? And from the look of it, there is no place for him to go. It's a matter of urging Marco Signoretti, perhaps giving him the opportunity to make a mistake around the race course. Look in the mirror instead of putting the car exactly where it needs to be on the racetrack, and that's exactly what Austin Riley needs to do. He needs to take advantage of a mistake, and so far, Marco Signoretti has been picture perfect.
Little bit of a gap between the fifth place runner, Kevin King, number 40, and the 98 of Sylvain Willette, followed by 58 Taylor Neer. So still 7 cars up in that lead draft as they rocket up the Andretti straightaway under the Canadian Tire Bridge. Again, Austin Riley looking for the pass down on the inside. And the pole sitter Signoretti just shuts the door going into turn number 8. They swing through the left-hander at 9 and into 10. It's still single file. And back onto the start-finish straightaway. The running order stays the same. And it'll be Signoretti who will put lap number 4 up on the board. Maybe that's 5 now that they have completed. Our lap count going through here, I think that is lap 4 indeed completed, as we're about 7 minutes into this 30-minute run. And those 7 cars continue to run single file down through the bottom of turn 2.
It's a great race, that's for sure. It's begun to spread out just a little bit. And the fastest car on the racetrack is actually the green and black Austin Riley number 20 machine. The second place car fastest by just a fraction of an inch. Jake Exton doing the very best he can. He's given himself a little bit of room. If he can get a run on one of the front running cars at the exit of a corner, he might be able to carry that speed down the straightaway, make the pass in the next turn. But he has to stay close, and that's exactly where they are in turn number 5. Nose to tail once again, Signoretti, Riley, Exton. Cars number 9720 and 00 at the exit of the corner. The 98 bring up the back of that freight train. Sylvain Willette runs in 6th place. Taylor Neer, the blue and white car immediately behind him underneath the footbridge. And up the Andretti straightaway one more time, trying to stay as close as they can to each other. Again, not a ton of horsepower, nothing they could waste. If they can get somebody out front to cut a hole through the air for them, gain them half a mile an hour up the straightaway, it can pay huge dividends up through turns 8, 9, and 10.
Very defensive line through turn number 8 for the pole sitter Signoretti as he continues to hold that blue and white PayPal Micra up in front, but all over his rear bumper is Austin Riley as they come off of turn number 10. Riley putting in a tremendous drive here in the Spark Power Racing with Autism Micra. Then it is the 00 of Jake Exton as they pick up the pace right now. Signoretti with one of the fastest laps of the race. Riley also, they're both running at around 1:44 and change down through the bottom of turn number 2. And that pack up front, they have broken clear from the overall championship leader, Kevin King, who is back in 5th. And the new 6th place runner is Taylor Neer in car number 58. He has moved around the 98 of Sylvain Willette as they continue to fight it out there for 6th and 7th.
You know, it strikes me watching the cars run around the racetrack as closely as they possibly can, not with anything close to the kind of horsepower we've seen from the NASCAR machines out here this race weekend. This looks like the ideal kind of motor racing for somebody that's come up through the ranks, gotten involved in go-karts. Honestly, go-karts, again, not a ton of horsepower. You can't get by somebody because you can hold your foot down and find another couple of horsepower. It's a matter of being smooth, being tight, being consistent, and being as perfect as you can be behind the wheel of a car. These cars aren't going to allow you to make a mistake. And the two people out front here today, we've got both Marco and Austin in the 97 and the 00 cars, as perfect as there can be, as we've got a pass for 3rd place. Here comes Valerie Limoges in the 220 car up to 3rd.
Valerie, a nice move there at the end of the Andretti straightaway.
Oh, boy!
Just about sideways. Here comes Jake Exton looking back on the inside. A brilliant bit of driving by the young lady from Quebec, Valerie Limoges. That car almost got away from her sideways off of turn 9, and she gathered it back up. That's going to allow Kevin King in car number 40 to inch a little bit closer. And don't count out Taylor Neer, teammate to our race leader, Marco Signoretti. He has made a charge up. So that lead pack now is broken out into a 2-race battle for the lead and a 4-rider war that's going on here for that 3rd place position. They're up into turn number 3.
A great piece of driving by Valerie Limoges in turn number 8 just a minute ago. Got the back end of the car out just a little bit. It started to slide. The first opportunity. Almost every driver in the world, in that instance, they're going to take their foot off the gas. They're going to load up the front wheels, and around it's going to go. She kept her foot in it, didn't lose any momentum at all, and basically kept as much weight as she possibly could on the rear wheels. They gripped, she held on, and she is still in 3rd place due to a brilliant piece of driving in turn number 8.
Valerie Limoges, the Total Quartz and Gregoire Nissan sponsored driver, holding off 3 drivers or tucked right on her rear bumper as they work up the Andretti straightaway. This is a 4-way fight going on for that 3rd place spot. And the last ticket to the victory podium, meanwhile, out in front, it has come down to a war between the 97 of our pole sitter and rookie driver, Marco Signoretti, and the number 20 of Austin Riley in the Racing with Autism Spark Power entry.
Oh, and there's lots of dicing going on as we got a couple of cars coming together. Jake Exton almost gets turned around in turn number 10. Gets touched in the right rear corner of the car. It gets a little bit sideways again, but hey, really wherewithal, knowing exactly where the car is on the racetrack and holding your foot on the gas pedal. He carried on. He got down the start-finish line, didn't give up a spot, in spite of the fact that people behind him were trying to move him out of the way with the front bumper.
And that's going to allow the 58 of Taylor Neer to move around. Kevin King, who has been shuffled to the tail end of that quartet that have been fighting it out here for that 3rd place position. It is Valerie Limoges, number 220, in the Total Quartz Micra, running in 3rd. Then the 00 of Jake Exton, followed by 58 Taylor Neer in the 2nd of the PayPal cars, and then it is the 40 of Kevin King, the King Motorsports L&P Apparel Micra. They work through Moss Corner, begin the run up through the gearbox out of 5B, and the fight up front continues between the 97 of Marco Signoretti as he continues to clear off along with Austin Riley from that four-way fight going on for third. And you get the feeling, Jim, that before this is all over, Austin Riley has been sizing up that PayPal Mobile One core of 97 Signoretti. And again, into the top of the S's. They're just one car length apart. He's trying to figure out where on this racetrack late in the event I can make my move, but they have broken well clear with lap times down in the low minute 44s.
Boy, it's going to take a lot of nerve. There's no doubt about it. He's going to have to size him up for a couple more laps. From the look of it, he does have the couple more laps to take advantage of it. But the bottom line is he's going to have to take a deep breath and say, "I'm going to put the car here. If you're going to try to keep me away from here, you're going to have to push me out of the way." And it's going to be interesting. The bottom of turn number 2, Austin Riley gets a little wide this time tries to carry more speed than perhaps he needed to in turn number 2. A little bit of a mistake. Still, there's a couple laps left to go in the contest, so he can afford to make mistakes. The last few laps, though, he's got to be decisive and make a move and see what happens. Take a deep breath and give it a try.
Coming up to the 15-minute mark. It'll be 15 minutes in the books, 15 to go. This has been a tremendous race up front. That race for third continues. Valerie Lamage in the Gregoire Nissan Total Quartz Micra out of turn 5B. The Clarington Nissan of 00. Jake Exton holding on to fourth. Fifth is Taylor Neer in the PayPal Micra. And then the current championship points leader, Kevin King, all the way back in sixth. If this is how they finish, we're going to have a virtual tie for the championship going in around 10 tomorrow between Kevin King and your race leader at the moment, Marco Signoretti. Back into turn number 8, Austin Riley parked right on his rear bumper as they come through turn number 9 and into 10. And Signoretti very smooth off of turn 10. This will be lap number 9 up on the board as they go through and just past the halfway point. Side by side, here is Taylor Neer alongside of the 00 of Jake Exton. No, that is Valerie Lamage who got shuffled back. So it is the 00 of Exton who has gone to third, Taylor Neer to fourth, and Valerie Lamage shuffled back into the 5th place spot. Kevin King, 40, is running in 6th. So they shuffled the deck there for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th as that quartet of cars now rocket up into turn 3.
Boy, as is the case as often as not with race series similar to the Nissan Micra Cup, very similar cars, identical machinery, identical horsepower numbers. A matter of driving skill and being a little bit lucky from time to time as the field begins to spread out a little in turn number 5. We've had lots of changes out on the race course, but as it turns out, right now the best battle on the racetrack is the battle for 3rd place overall. The front two have spread out just a little bit. There's almost a car length between them as they come up the Mario Andretti straightaway. The battle is for 3rd spot, and there are still 4 cars involved in that dice as we're slowly but surely coming to the conclusion of this race. And as it stands right now, we're looking at a 30-minute race, and we're 2/3 of the way through.
Well, indeed, this is quite the fight, not only up front, but for the last ticket to the victory podium here this afternoon. Round 9 action in the Nissan Micra Cup through turn 9. It is 97. Marco Signoretti by just a car length on the start-finish straightaway. Austin Riley will chase him down across the line as they put lap number 10 up on the board. Then that fight for third, 00, Jake Exton. Try to hold off Taylor Neer. He is determined to put both of those PayPal Micras on the podium here this afternoon. Valerie Lamage in car number 220, sitting back there in the 5th place spot. And then the championship leader, Kevin King, in the 6th place position.
The battle for 3rd place overall between the The Jake Exton and Taylor Neer machines has turned into the race of the day so far. The difference between the two cars when qualifying time rolled around was less than a tenth of a second or so. Very, very closely matched. The difference between the two so far today is the skill behind the wheel, just how determined they are underneath the helmet. And we've got another good battle lining up now as well. The Valerie Limoges machine continues to circulate as we got a car way off the racetrack at turn number 5, almost missed the exit of the corner. Suddenly, it was Kevin King's number 40 machine making a little bit of a mistake, getting the car a little bit too far to the left, coming into the exit of turn number 5. Moss Corner, the second piece of Moss Corner, almost snuck up and bit him.
Well, that is going to really hurt his chances. Unofficially, I think Signoretti is going to be the championship leader if he can hold on for the win and King finishes back in 6th. This race for 3rd and 4th and Neer has gone around the 00. So the PayPal Motorsports in Action drivers running 1-3 with the Austin Riley green Micra, the Spark Power sponsored entry, back there in 2nd. On the start-finish straightaway, they work down into turn number 1. Jake Exton 00. He has not finished yet. He is determined to get back around, and there's the charge down out of turn 1, heading up to 2. Jake Exton trying to drive around the outside. Now he'll tuck back in on Taylor Neer. This is a monumental battle going on here for that 3rd place position. Into turn 3. Taylor Neer making that PayPal Nissan Micra as wide as possible into turn number 3, and Valerie Limoges has got the best seat in the house to watch that fight going on for 3rd and 4th, just ahead of her on the racetrack. If these two drivers get into it, then Limoges might be right there to take over 3rd in Moss Corner as we work lap number 12 and less than 10 minutes to go.
Jake Exton has used up all that car. He's used up one of the mounting pieces for the front bodywork in the 00 car as well. He's had some contact as we watch the cars come underneath the Mobile 1 bridge as we got a car off the racetrack as well. Frederick Bernier is slid off the race course. I'm guessing that's turn number 5. We have to have a wider view to give that a look-see.
I think you are right. Turn 5.
Yep.
He's put it into the tire walls down there at Moss Corner. We'll see whether or not we stay green here. He's well off the racetrack. No, we go to a full course yellow with the clock showing 9 minutes remaining. If they can get that car out of there in a big, big hurry, we might end up with about a 2 or 3 lap shootout. And there is the car of Bernier. He has gotten out of the car, evidently okay, but he had been running back in about the 7th place position. So tough break. And Bernier was actually our top senior class driver. That is going to give 98 Sylvain Willette that position. We'll reset the running order for you, but a tough break here for Bernier after running off the racetrack at turn number 5.
It's got to be tough. He got out of the car and threw his hands in the air at the crowd on the outside of turn number 5 and said, hey, doing the best I can, but it wasn't going to happen today. From the look of the car, it's been wrinkled on the front end. It looked as though he went in nose first and it got spun around after it touched the tire wall. So that car most definitely will need a little bit of assistance to get out of harm's way. They'll have to pull it behind the wall over in turn number 5 if we're going to go back to green flag racing. The quickest way to do that is just to move the car about 25 meters off the racing surface. Frederick Bernier, a little disgusted with the way things have turned out this afternoon. A good race, but as it stands right now, we got a 30-minute race, and we're closing in on the last 8 minutes. If they're really fast about it, and from the look of it, is there fluid leaking from that car? He may have damaged the radiator as well. Now, whether the radiator has been damaged, it looks as though there might be things leaking down onto the track surface, which might delay the cleanup in turn number 5 even more. But we'll have to wait and see. The experts at that end of the racetrack will take care of it for us. The Nismo will lead the field back up, and if we do have the opportunity to go back to green flag racing, this is going to bunch up everybody who's been involved in that battle for the top 7 spots. They're going to be running nose to tail again. If He said, and crossing my fingers, if we can go back to green flag racing, this one isn't done. It could turn into a one-lap shootout, and I couldn't imagine a better group of people. They've really put on a tremendous show for us this afternoon, and if we can get back to green flag racing, this one's going to be worth watching. This is the start of our afternoon's racing at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. The Chevy Silverado 250 continues with the Nissan Micra Cup race number 1. It's a 30-minute race, and we are right now inside the final 7 minutes on the clock.
Indeed, 6.5 showing on the official race clock. This one limited to 30 minutes as the Nissan Nismo full 100% electric safety car rolls on the start-finish straightaway. Here's how they run under this full course yellow. Your pole sitter, Marco Signoretti, in car number 97 goes through. That is lap 13 going up on the board. Second is Austin Riley in car number 20. The driver from Toronto in the Racing with Autism Spark Power entry. Then the second of the PayPal cars, Taylor Neer, in car number 58, qualified 6th fastest, but has had a great run here up into 3rd position. And in fact, his fastest lap of the race here so far is very close to where he qualified. The 00 of Jake Exton in the Clarington Nissan entry, sitting 4th. 5th is the 220 of Valerie Lamage, the Gregoire Nissan and Total Quartz sponsored driver, sitting there in 5th. She is 3rd in the championship. Our championship leader, Kevin King, back in 6th. And this full course yellow, if we do get an opportunity to go back racing before the checkered flag comes out, will be a big benefit to Kevin King, because if he ends up finishing 6th, unofficially, and we'll get the official tally on the points, Marco Signoretti may go into tomorrow's 10th round of the championship with the points lead. 7th is the number 10 car of Gavin Sanders, one of our rookie drivers from Mount Albert, Ontario. The Sanders Motorsport entry, good run for the rookie here. He qualified 9th. He's sitting 7th in the order. 98th, Sylvain Willette is in 8th. 9th is 47, Andre Lapointe. In 10th is Xavier Lassus in the 6th car. And then the number 728 of Mario Charette. The rest of the cars not running. 28, Frederic Bernier, who just went out there at the end of lap 11, was on lap 12 when he crashed at turn 5. Eric Chaput, the rookie driver, only completed 10 laps here this afternoon. And Nicholas Barrett in car number 427. He was one of the first drivers to roll on to pit road here early in the race. We show a little bit less than 4 minutes to go. And Jim, sadly, I don't think we're going to get that situation at Moss Corner as a result of the crash by Frederic Bernier while leading the senior class. They're going to be able to get it cleaned up fast enough to get these cars back out under green. As we look at Kevin King back there in 6th on the racetrack, and you could be looking at your brand new Nissan Micra Cup Series points leader if they do finish here under the full course yellow. We're just waiting, looking at the flagger stand here. We're coming up on about 3 minutes to go. Whether or not they show that last lap flag, they may the next time by.
They've got the car up on the flatbed down to turn number 5. Actually, before they came up the back straightaway, they had the car off the ground. They just have to. It's being moved out of harm's way as it stands right now. Safety vehicles on scene. They're going to back the trucks out of the way, and all we have to. Oh, he's got to bring the truck all the way around. Oh my goodness. If they just wheel it around at the exit of turn number 5, they might have had a chance. And I think you're right, because they're going to drive the rescue vehicle with the Nissan Micra on the back of the flatbed all the way up the back straightaway. Boy, it's going to be tight. Can he beat the field up to turn number 9, turn number 10, where he's going to pull off the racetrack? He'll turn off at the midway through turn number 8. And we're watching down the back straightaway to see when we see our pace car. If they can get this vehicle off the racetrack before they get to the back straightaway and give everybody 10 or 15 seconds when the lights go off on the Nismo pace car, Maybe. There is the possibility. The vehicle's headed the top of turn number 4 now. About halfway up the back straightaway is the safety vehicle with our stricken Nissan race car on the back bumper, on the hook rather, on the flatbed underneath the Canadian Tire footbridge momentarily. Here he comes. He's underneath the bridge. He's going to make the right hand turn. They're just entering the back straightaway. There is we might get one lap. Maybe.
Well, we'll see. This could come down to an absolute one-lap shootout. Right now, it looks like the lights are still on the Nissan Nismo pace car, and they may have just turned them off. So we could be looking here at a 1 or 2 lap shootout. They may show last lap board and throw the green. And it looks like this one is going to come down. We're just going to
get it. Lights are off in the pace car.
Indeed. They'll line up here for a restart. We'll try to get a look at the flagger stand here to see if, in fact, that last lap board comes out along with the green flag as the Nismo Nissan pace car works its way slowly off the end of the Andretti straightaway into the top of the S's. This should be one wild and woolly final lap here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Grab yourself a piece of heads. This is going to be a dynamite shootout. It's going to be one lap. Everything is going to be on the line. The Nismo's going to pull off the racetrack right now and down on pit lane. Everybody's as close as they dare be. Nose to tail through turn number 10. Momentarily, they'll roll down the start-finish line, and unless somebody's got a checkered flag in their hand, this is a green flag.
And the last lap board indication to the drivers. Less than a lap to go. A one-lap shootout in round 9 of the Nissan Micra Cup Championship. Signoretti will take him to the bottom of turn number 1. Here is the 00 of Jake Exton. Exton all over. Taylor near for third. Into turn number 2. Couldn't get around. For a moment, it looked like he was going to try to drive it in on the outside. Decided to tuck back in. And as they head up into turn number 3, 00 Jake Exton in that Clarington Nissan is all over that 58 car. The PayPal entry of Taylor Neer. He wants that last ticket to the victory podium. Meanwhile, Signoretti and Austin Riley have opened up several car lengths in a Moss corner. The question now, can Riley get close enough in the run up the back straightaway to try to get around going into the top of the S's?
There's nothing to it. All he's got to do is carry another 5 or 10 miles an hour out of turn number 5 and beat him up the back straightaway. It's really easy to say, almost impossible to do. Now, whether he's got any kind of steam at all, he's driving up the inside, and he basically, when he drives to the inside, he gives away whatever aerodynamic advantage that could be had by being right on his back bumper underneath the Canadian Tire footbridge. And there's might be a pass for second place into turn number 8.
And there is Taylor Neer on the inside of Austin Riley. They'll go side by side through turn 8. Austin Riley has the inside. Taylor Neer around the outside into turn number 10. Marco Signoretti, your leader, on the inside of Austin Riley. This is going to be a drag race to the line. Jake Exton by inches. It is Signoretti. We'll check the electronic timing and scoring. It is Jake Exton grabs third by 7/1000ths of a second in a wild and woolly finish in round 9 of the Nissan Micra Cup. You had I got to ask them on the victory podium. It looked as though Signoretti slowed up enough to allow Riley to allow the opening for Taylor Neer, for Neer to get in on the inside going into turn number 8. So the first time this year, the PayPal drivers are 1-2 here at the checkered flag. The Motorsports in Action pair go 1-2. Jake Exton jumping all over Austin Riley when it looked as though Riley was headed for a podium finish, and he will finish in 4th. Valerie Lamage in 5th. 10, Gavin Sanders, the rookie, got around Kevin King on that last lap. So Kevin King, coming into this round 9, had a lead over Marco Signoretti, and we'll try to get Philippe Broussard to get us the updated points, but I think that you're looking at your brand new Nissan Micra Cup points leader in Marco Signoretti, as the pole sitter had a tremendous